Dude, unprompted makes it sound like this guy was just whacking it out. Yes, I still think it's wrong and he shouldn't have done it. But he asked at least. Gaslighting, proto-gaslighting before we had the words for it. My friends just basically convinced me I got actually. It wasn't just an awkward sexual experience. What else are you supposed to do? What more can you possibly do in that situation? They want you to cut your own off. Bro, what is this non-committal shit? It depends. The answer is resolutely yes, of course, and you're retarded to think otherwise.
These are the noble reasons to do stand-up. Some people do just do it to get rich. Some people do just do it to get, or hey.
Artsy, fartsy, gay shit. Just tell a funny joke, that's it, that's all you gotta do. Shut up and read the joke.
Like, is that bit hateful? No. But do people who use that language willy-nilly in social situations who don't care about the impact of that word, is that hateful? Yes.
Is this guy saying that Louis C.K. should be doing bits about getting consent? Jake Weddle did a video, as he's doing, about comedians. And this particular one that he's done is of personal interest to me because he is probably one of the most unreasonably maligned comedians going. He did a video about Louis C.K. Now, I think that there's reasonable criticism of Louis C.K. and there's also comedy to be had from his actions. But there's this narrative that it's like somehow a problem to like Louis C.K. nowadays, which he seems to be playing into. Is it okay to still like Louis C.K.? I mean, yeah, why not? He had a, arguably inappropriate sexual interaction. The best faith argument I can make is he abused his power to ask a woman if he could jerk off in front of him, leading them to feel uncomfortably saying yes, okay? That's the best faith argument I can give. The idea he's a rapist, a sexual assaulter, or something like that is utterly fucking insane, okay? It's literally a dealt with matter. Yes, obviously, you can criticize him for that, but the idea that he needs to be eternally cancelled is ridiculous to me, based on what he did. He didn't rape anyone, he didn't molest anyone, he awkwardly jerked off in front of some women, who arguably would have said no if he wasn't Louis C.K. That's it, that's what he did, okay? Anyway, that's my take on Louis C.K. I don't think you need to worry about liking him in 2024. I think he's more than accounted for his crimes, and you're free to like him as much as you wish. Looks like maybe Jake Weddle's got a disagreement, but I could be prejudging. Let's find out.
Louis. Oh no. Louis, don't do that. So let me tell you what this video isn't. It is not, is it okay to still like Louis C.K. as a person? No, that's not what this is. Look, most comedians are bad people. That's why it's really hard to enjoy this genre. This is the
Dude. Okay, this could be good.
Only art form where some people, not the only art form. That's the thing about art, is a lot of people who do it are like damaged people, broken people. And that's not why they're good at what they do. They're good at what they do because they tried really hard and they studied the craft and they dedicated their time to something. Maybe having nuance, having balance, being a little broken can help. I think John Mulaney made a great point at a Robin Williams tribute show that Netflix put on, I believe. And John Mulaney himself, somebody who struggles with addiction and I guess just being an asshole, which is funny. But yeah, that's John making the point that Robin Williams wasn't prolific because he was broken. He's just better at comedy than you. But Louis. All right, let me start off by saying, before all this stuff that went down, all the stuff that came out about Louis, he was...
Wow. I think we can see where some of that blood money went. Clearly there's an editor involved now with all these cuts that are happening.
My faves, he was one of the greats. I had his material in such high regard.
Dude, Occam's cock comes is so right about this. Comedy is an art form, but the more a comedian recognizes comedy as an art form, the worse they usually are as comedians. Yes. Very, very true. Completely agree with that. A comedian should just tell jokes, okay? Some people are going to like those jokes. Other people are not going to like those jokes. And that's the way it is. I think the more you try and intellectualize it, the worse it gets. The more you try and politicize it, it's fine to tell politically themed jokes. But what I am saying is fucking obnoxious, is the clap comedy, where someone comes out and it's not about telling jokes to make the audience laugh. It's about literally just spelling out a political message so the audience claps. That is the most obnoxious shit that I see floating about on Twitter. Like that fucking loser that came out and did a whole spiel about how transphobia is bad. Fuck off. Anyway, nonetheless.
And I still do. I think the early 2000s, the era of stand-up that Louis was popularized in, was an era of stand-up that was really pushing boundaries as far as like getting into the nitty-gritty of some harsh realities, some dark truths. Stand-up does this thing where it kind of goes back and forth between, the squeaky clean and the raunchy stuff. I don't know if I've mentioned that in any of my previous videos. If the 90s was Seinfeld, the 2000s was Louis. And a lot of the material that made Louis so good does have a different tone now. Like, I don't know, man. Louis C.K. had a lot of jokes about masturbating.
Masturbating's really important to you.
Yeah, it is. It keeps me sane. I'm a good citizen, I'm a good father, I recycle, and I masturbate. And I'm proud of it. And God's happy. And later I'm going to masturbate and I'm going to think about you. And there's nothing you can do about it.
I don't think R. Kelly wrote a song.
Bro, that's even funnier now. What do you mean? That's even funnier, knowing that he's jerked off in front of a couple of women, jerking his withered penis in front of a couple of women that are desperately trying to look away because they don't really want to see it. Bro, it's even funnier now.
Song, I wanna pee on a 14-year-old. I wanna pee. Yeah, go ahead and clip that. But hey, Drake, fella, it's called a metaphor, dude. You don't just say in the song. All right, let me get away from that. No, but that wasn't all of Louis' material, right? No, let me go in depth into the what I'm aware of about the Louis scandal. I haven't looked into it too much, but when I was in college, I was in a communications class where I had to write a paper on a figure who was going under some controversy. And I raised my hand and I said, "Can I do the Louis C.K. thing?" And she goes, "What did Louis C.K. do?" I went, trust me.
Well, I haven't looked into it too much, but
I'm trying to do takes where I don't laugh right after. No, from what I can tell, there was 4 women in particular who came forward about stories that were all similar. Louis would either unprompted or semi-prompted start, in front of women. Some of them were coworkers. A lot of the female comics. Everyone's kind of a peer. Some people accused him of using his power to get away.
What? Hold on. Unprompted. I could be wrong about this. I'm pretty sure that, although it's not like, I understand and agree with some of the ideas that they might have said no if it wasn't Louis C.K., but didn't he at least ask? Even if you want to argue he shouldn't have asked in the first place. I'm pretty sure that he asked. Should he have asked? No. Should he have done it? No. But there's a big difference between just getting your cock out and jerking off with no warning versus going, "Oh, do you want me to masturbate in front of you?" And the woman's like, "Yeah, I guess." And then you start doing it. Still cringe, but not as bad as just unpromptedly getting it out. So, yeah, I am not like a complete Louis C.K. sweeper. I think he shouldn't have asked and shouldn't have done it, right? But I think this narrative that has been built up around this is absurd to the point that he's talking about semi-prompted getting his dick out and jerking it off. What does that even mean? Semi-prompted. If you're semi-prompted, that would suggest that there's an argument that maybe you should have done it because maybe there was a thing that made you do it that was reasonable. Oh, anyway.
With some of the stuff, and that's shitty. That's not good. That's bad. That's bad stuff.
Stylo asks a fair question. What is the point of fame if not to ask women to watch you jerk off? Very true.
There's a lot more to the story, I believe. The fact that it's not just those 4 women that happened to. There's probably more. The complicated thing is, it's not even complicated. Like Sarah Silverman even talks about, yeah, Louis would do that in front of me all the time, but I'd watch, I'd laugh. He told a story about like her and him getting like naked in an elevator together. I don't know. And Louis, like, he made a statement, that was a very, very, like, in my opinion, like a very well thought out statement. Seemed very, very genuine. It seemed heartfelt. It seemed remorseful. And I was like, damn. I mean, no apology can mitigate the damage, but you expect an apology, right? And then
mitigate the damage, dude. I'm sorry. What fucking damage? You didn't even touch anyone. What do you mean? The damage. What damage occurred, bro? No one got raped. What do you mean? If anything, he damaged himself more than anyone else.
seemed heart made a statement, that was a very, very, like, in my opinion, like a very well thought out statement. Seemed very, very
yeah, exactly. Dickers. If he should be apologising to anyone, it should be to the hotel staff for having to clean up the cum stains off the floor. Okay, dude. Anyway. I want to address the stories told to the New York Times. The stories are true. At the time, I said to myself that what I did was okay because I never showed a woman my dick without asking first. which is also true. So there we go. Wait, hang on a sec. Dude, unprompted makes it sound like this guy was just whacking it out. Yes, I still think it's wrong and he shouldn't have done it. But he asked at least, right? Unprompted sounds way more sexual abusey than
wonderful.
asking.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
If you want to cringe, look up Hannah Gadsby comedian. Her comedy involved talking about the fact she's an autistic lesbian all the time.
Jesus. Thank you for the super
Okay,
chats.
that's wonderful. But how
In
do
fact,
I make
thank
money
you for the super
off depressed
chats.
people?
But what I learned later in life, too late, is that when you have power over another person, asking them to look at your dick isn't a question, it's a predicament for them. The power I had over these women is that they admired me, and I wielded that power irresponsibly. I mean, it feels a bit over-egged, but yeah, sure, I think this is pretty reasonable, right? Like, this is a pretty reasonable statement on the basis of what he did. Certainly for the other side of the aisle, of the people who are like, this guy's tantamount to a rapist, which... Listen, guys, the Louis C.K. stuff has maybe died down now. Even Jake Weddle is not going as hard as he could on this, you know, on the basis of what it was like. But some people were literally acting like this guy pinned someone down and violently raped them. It's crazy. So, you know, bear in mind the temperature of what was being discussed, this is a more than reasonable statement. I've been remorseful of my actions, and I've tried to learn from them and run from them. Now I'm aware of the extent of the impact of my actions. I learned yesterday the extent to which I left these women who admired me feeling badly about themselves and cautious around other men who would never have put them in that position. I also took advantage of the fact I was widely admired in my and their community, which disabled them from sharing their story and brought hardship to them when they tried because people who look up to me didn't want to hear it. I didn't think that I was doing any of that because my position allowed me not to think about it. There is nothing about this that I forgive myself for, and I have to reconcile it with who I am, which is nothing compared to the task I left them with. Wait, this guy is giving a heartfelt statement laying it all out. And for some people, this wasn't enough. I mean, what more could you ask from someone? Wish Chud would ask you to come. Whoa! What the fuck, dude? I wish I'd reacted to the admiration of me by being a good example to them as man and given them some guidance as a comedian, including because I admired their work. The hardest regret to live with is what you've done to hurt someone else, and I can hardly wrap my head around the scope of hurt I brought on them. Oh, dude, this is cucked. This part's cucked. I'd be remiss to exclude the hurt that I brought on people who I work with and have worked with and whose professional and personal lives have all been impacted by all of this. Including projects currently in production, the cast and the crew of Better Things, Baskets, The Cops, One Mississippi, and I Love You Daddy. I deeply regret that this has brought negative attention to my manager, Dave Becky, the only one who tried to mediate a situation that I caused. I brought anguish and hardship to the people of FX, who have given me so much, The Orchard, who took a chance on my movie, and every other entity that has bet on me through the years. I brought pain to my family, my friends, my children, and their mother. I have spent my long and lucky career talking and saying anything I want. I'll now step back and take a long time to listen. Thank you for reading. Yeah, I saw someone in chat say that he later said he regretted making this statement. Okay. So yeah, sure. You know, I understand where you're coming from. But at the time when this came out, people were acting like he couldn't be saved. And even this statement wasn't enough. Right? So it's like, based on the context at the time, for me, it was unreasonable to act like this guy was some sort of fucking rapist, right? And if he came out later and said that he regretted having to apologize, you know, you can take that into account now, but you can't take that into account at the time this happened. Do you see what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I would say that this is too generous, if anything, you know, particularly the stuff about the regret and the hurt and stuff like that. Obviously, some of this was lawyered and whatnot, you know? What did he do? He asked women if he could get his cock out and jerk off in front of them. And there's no, to my understanding, I don't know if this happened, he just did it randomly. I think he did ask. And for me, at least, it's he shouldn't have asked and shouldn't have done it. But people took that to an extreme of, you know, he's tantamount to rape. He got wrapped up in all of the Me Too shit that was happening around the time. He was, basically what happened was, it was like, dude, It was like a CDO of allegations and then a CDO of the CDO of allegations, right? I think that was a thing that existed with that product, right? And it's like everything was like, look at all these people. Look at all these people that are being accused. But then you actually look at it and you're like, hang on a sec. Louis C.K. didn't really do anything that wrong. Why is he wrapped up with everyone else that have raped and shit? Also, who was that Indian guy? That Aziz guy, I think. I think he went on like a bad date or something. And he also got wrapped up in some Me Too claim. Right? That was before everyone hated Indians as much as they do now. But this guy, if I recall, did barely anything wrong. If anything at all. Aziz Ansari. Yes. Like this guy was hauled over the coals for like some sort of minor thing that most people have probably experienced and gone through. It was nuts. Where is it? Sexual misconduct allegations. A woman uses pseudonym Grace accused Ansari of sexual misconduct in an article on Babe.net. According to the article, the woman later texted Ansari expressing her discomfort and he replied with an apology. Media critic who later interviewed the article's author called the Babe article some combination of as told to and reported piece and morning after group chat gossip, saying it became a flashpoint of discussion about Me Too. There was a disagreement in the media commentary as to whether the incident described in the Babe article constituted sexual misconduct. Ansari stated the encounter, by all indications, was completely consensual. Dude, I wish I could just see what exactly it was. Oh, we're going down a rabbit hole, guys. I can't stop it now. How long is this thing? Jesus Christ, dude. A man's life hangs in the balance. Aziz Ansari, retro rape review. Let's go. Right. So Grace, not the real name. Okay. She says Ansari brushed her off at first, but after he realised they both bought the same kind of camera to the event, he was impressed. They flirted a little. He took 2 pictures. She snapped some of him, and then she and a date went back to the dance floor. It was like one of the things where you're aware of the other person all night. We would catch eyes every now and then. They ran into each other one last time. At Ansari's suggestion, she put a number in his phone. They exchanged flirtatious banter for a week before he asked her to go out with them on Monday, September 25th. The date didn't go as planned. The night would end with Grace in an Uber home, in tears, messaging her friends about how Ansari behaved. Babe spoke to the first friend she told about and reviewed the messages on her phone.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
See, a sepia filter. Thank you for the super chat. The day after the incident, she wrote a long text to Ansari saying, I just want to take the moment to make you aware of your behaviour and how uneasy it made me. To that message, Ansari responded, clearly, I misread things in the moment and I'm truly sorry. Right, okay. So no hard allegations, just, you made me feel uneasy. Dude, I tell you what, if making women feel uneasy on a date was a crime, I'd be in prison for life, okay? Bro, this shit happens. People feel uneasy. Unless it's some gig of rape, why should we care? Why was this even revealed? This is so obviously someone had an experience they didn't like with a celebrity and they thought they'd fucking publicise it and some rag decided to go with it, even though this probably didn't meet the muster for a lot of other journalistic standards. Styler would be in Guantanamo Bay. Okay, so the phone number matches. Excited for the date. Before meeting Ansari, Grace told friends and co-workers about the date and consulted her go-to group chat about what she should wear to fit the cocktail chic dress code he gave her. Tank top dress and jeans. Showed me a picture, it was a good outfit. After arriving at his apartment in Manhattan on Monday, they exchanged small talk and drank wine. It was white, she said. I didn't get to choose and I prefer red, but it was white wine. So what? What on earth, dude? Then Ansari walked into the Grand Banks, an oyster bar aboard a historic wooden schooner on the Hudson River. She said it was beautiful, warm September night. And they've got photos. Bro. This is so fucking intrusive, dude. You're putting date photos in the article too. What a sleazy rag this is, dude. Any opportunity to publish an article at the height of Me Too about a celebrity. Oh, I had a bad date with someone. Here's pictures of the date. Oh, he didn't have the wine I liked. Publicise that, thank you. Oh my God, dude. I can't say exactly what I want to say. Well, what I will say is this. I think that some of these women should be treated to an all-expenses-paid trip to rural India. And that's all I'll say on the matter. Okay. Let's get... Okay. Grace says she sensed Ansari was eager for them to leave. When the waiter came over, he quickly asked for the check and he said, like, let's get off this boat. She recalls there was still wine in a glass and more left in the bottle he ordered. The abruptness surprised her. Like, he got the check and it was like, bada boom, bada bing, we're out of there. Right. Yes. Is this really a point? Is this really a point? Oh, he wanted to fuck me, actually. He wanted to go and fuck me. Okay. Yes, obviously, a guy quickly leaving after you get the check is a sign that he wants to go somewhere else or wants to take you back and fuck you. They walked the 2 blocks back to his apartment building, an exclusive... This is like, bro, this is such a standard thing. This is such a standard thing on a date. And sometimes the woman will be up for it, and other times the woman will be like, okay, calm down, and they'll rebuff you a bit, and then that's it, and it's fine. They walked the 2 blocks back to his apartment building, an exclusive address on Tribeca's Franklin Street, where Taylor Swift has a place too. When they walked back in, she complimented his marble countertops. According to Grace, Ansari turned the compliment into an invitation. He said something along the lines of, how about you hop up there and take a seat? Within minutes, he was kissing her. Bro, there's 2 sides to that interaction. He was kissing her and she was kissing him. No? What? They were kissing each other. But no, we've got to make it sound like he was kissing her and make it sound rapey, even though it's obviously not based on the context. In a second, his hand was on my breast. Then he was undressing her. Then he undressed himself. She remembers feeling uncomfortable at how quickly things escalated. When Ansari told her he was going to grab a condom within minutes of their first kiss, Grace voiced her hesitation explicitly. I said something like, whoa, let's relax for a sec, let's chill. She says he then resumed kissing her, briefly performed oral sex on her, and asked her to do the same thing to him. She did, but not for long. It was really quick. Everything was pretty much touched and done within 10 minutes of hooking up, except for actual sex. Bro. This is shameful. This is utterly shameful. This fucking rag, spilling the details of some sort of personal sexual interaction. Why is this not treated like fucking leaking nudes? Why is this okay? Why, dude, this drives me insane. Why is it okay to talk about the lascivious details of your hookups to points of which may be embarrassing for the other party? And that's just considered okay. People don't go, oh, that's inappropriate, you shouldn't do that. If you've got a problem, talk about it, but do it in like terms that are, you know, things move fast, etc. Be a bit more obscure about it. Bro, if a guy wrote this article, yeah, I bought some woman back, she had a pussy like a punch lasagna, yeah? She sucked my dick for a bit, and then I fucked her and I cummed in her, right? What a whore. Also, she made me feel uncomfortable with how quick she moved. You get fucking destroyed. But no, if a woman does it, all of a sudden it's okay to reveal extremely personal details, even showing pictures of you out on a date. It is fucking insane, dude. She says Ansari began making a move on her that he repeated during their encounter. The move he kept doing was taking his 2 fingers into a V shape and putting them in my mouth, in my throat to wet his fingers. Because the moment he'd stick his fingers in my throat, he'd go straight for my vagina and try to finger me. Grace called the move the claw. That is what they teach you in India to do. It's just crazy, bro. Yeah, this sounds a bit weird. But guess what, guys? When you explain the detailed acts of sexual encounters, it sounds weird. Because, of course, on fucking black and white, it sounds weird. Yeah, this is a bit more unusual, sure. But, like, why do we need to know this? What is the point of revealing all of this? What a disgusting rag. I hope this fucking piece of shit blog went out of business or whatever. It's disgraceful. There's no wonder they're getting publicised on some shitty blog, because no decent newspaper in the land would even touch. I don't think BuzzFeed News would even have touched this. And they're terrible. Ansari also physically pulled her hand down towards his penis multiple times throughout the night from the time he first kissed her on the countertop onward. He also asked to please do the needful. She wasn't sure what that meant. He probably moved my hand to his dick 5 to 7 times, he said. He really kept doing it after I moved it away. But the main thing was that he wouldn't let her move away from him.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Thank you, Chud, for your entertaining content. I have been recovering this week from BPD, big penis disorder, and you have made it easy to stay informed while I get medicated.
Nicholas Diorio. Thank you for the $10. Appreciate that. I hope you're well. But the main thing is she wouldn't let her move away from him. She compared the path they cut across his apartment to a football play. It was 30 minutes of me getting up and moving and him following and sticking his fingers down my throat again.
Okay, that's wonderful.
It was really repetitive. It felt like a fucking game.
Depressed people.
Thank you, Katie, for the Prime sub. Okay. Could you not just, I mean, dude, I feel like this is like always the could you not just leave? If it's really that unpleasant, could you not just leave? Oh God, please, I'm really sorry. I know I've come here. I think this is a mistake. I don't want to do this. I'm just going to go, okay? I'm really not interested. No, thank you. Bro, that's what you have to do. What? But now we've got to make out like her being there and participating in all this stuff. She was there just shaking her head the whole time, so everyone knew she disagreed. Throughout the course of her short time in the apartment, she says she used verbal and non-verbal cues to indicate how uncomfortable and distressed she was. Hey, women! Here's a non-verbal cue that demonstrates just how uncomfortable you are with the situation. Okay? Putting your clothes on and walking out the door. Okay? There we go. You're sorted. You're simultaneously letting the guy know that you don't want that to happen and you're leaving the situation. Most of my discomfort was expressed in me pulling away and mumbling. Oh my God, bro. Nice and clear. That's what we like to see, don't we? Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I tell you what, that is when a woman is mumbling and pulling away and then continuing to engage in the interaction. That is the clearest sign that you're about to rape them that you could imagine. I know that my hand stopped moving at some point, she said. I stopped moving my lips and turned cold. Whether Ansari didn't notice Grace's reticence, and knowingly ignored it is impossible. Whether Ansari didn't notice or knowingly ignored is impossible for her to say. Bro. Dude. Did Ansari not fucking absolutely nuke this publication out of existence? This is insane. They're alluding to him basically raping her here with no evidence, with no proof, without even a claim of that happening. I know I was physically giving off cues that I wasn't interested. I don't think that was noticed at all, or if it was ignored. We're all terrified of women, Chud. Okay, dude. Ansari wanted to have sex. She remembers him asking again and again, where do you want me to fuck you? While she was still seated on the countertop. She says she found the question tough to answer because she says she didn't want to fuck him at all.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
This was just a cultural misunderstanding. Pushing away, mumbling uncomfortably and stiffening up is how women show affection in India.
Thank you for the $5. Again, call me crazy, but the way you would answer that is you would say, I don't want to fuck you tonight. I'm not fucking tonight. Bro, am I crazy? Is this not something that happens? You know, either they don't come back to your apartment and they make it clear they're not that kind of girl or whatever, and then you're fucking shit out of luck, right? Or alternatively, you get back and they go, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this. And then you have some sort of sexual interaction, but not full-blown penetrative intercourse, right? But she just sat there and took it all. And dude, this is fucking nuts. I can't believe that this was taken seriously at the time. I wasn't even really thinking of that. I didn't want to be engaged in that with him, but he kept asking. So I said next time, and he goes, oh, you mean a second date? And I would go, oh yeah, sure. And he goes, well, if I poured you another glass of wine now, would it count as our second date? Bro, this guy, this is the Indian horniness coming into play. That is kind of a bit, that is a little bit of Riz though. That's a little bit of Riz, isn't it? That's a little bit of Riz. That's a bit Risley. It's not that dude. He then poured her a glass and handed it to her. She excused herself to the bathroom soon after. Grace says she spent around 5 minutes in the bathroom collecting herself in the mirror and splashing herself with water. Then she went back to Ansari. He asked her if she was okay. I said, I don't want to feel forced because then I'll hate you and I'd rather not hate you, she said. What, dude? Bro! They're giving you these riddles to solve. Some horny guy and you're giving him a riddle to solve. Just say, I'm sorry, but this is a bit uncomfortable. I don't like this. I don't want to do this. I'm going to leave. Instead, you've got to solve the fucking lament configuration puzzle box to know if he wants to fuck you or not. She told Babe that at first she was happy with how he reacted. He said, oh, of course. It's only fun if we're both having fun. The response was technically very sweet in acknowledging the fact that I was very uncomfortable. Verbally in that moment, he acknowledged that I needed to take it slow. Then he said, let's just chill over here on the couch. And the woman was like, yep, that sounds about right. I'm sure that nothing is going to happen and he just wants to chill. You've got to leave. This guy's horny. It's not a crime to be a horny fucking, guy. Like, this is insane that this came public. Yeah, I can see that he was acting in a kind of very horny way, potentially pushy and stuff, but certainly not a Me Too claim. This is exactly how it was dealt with originally. Hey, I'm just letting you know, you made me feel a bit uncomfortable. Oh, I'm so sorry, I must have misread the signs. That's it. End of conversation. This moment is particularly significant for Grace because she thought that would be the end of the sexual encounter.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Okay.
Nim Rizzo became a member. Nim Rizzo celebrates 4 months of membership. You opened her box. She came.
Thank you, Nim Rizzo, for the membership. Her remark about not wanting to feel forced added a verbal component to the clue she was trying to give him about her discomfort. When she sat down on the floor next to Ansari, who sat on the couch, he thought he might rub her back or play with her hair, something to calm her down. Women in chat, if you're in an interaction with a guy and you make some sort of statement that you're not really feeling it, right? Okay? And the guy says, okay, no problem. Let's go sit down over here on the couch. Do you think, oh, well, that's the end of any attempt at sexual interaction, and it's just, he's going to play with my hair? Or do you think, nah, this guy is, yeah, I reckon he's going to try some stuff again. I probably should just leave. I don't know, dude. I feel like most women that I know would not sit and would leave because they would know that that's just another effort to try and engage in sexual activity. Like, surely you just leave as a woman, wouldn't you? I mean, I don't know. Is that crazy? Especially if you've managed to get out of the situation, go over there. He's going over to the couch. Okay, listen, I'm really sorry. I'm not feeling this. I'm going to go. At that point, if he's trying to withhold you there or something, you've got an argument that you've been potentially legally mishandled or a crime's been committed. But if you don't go to leave and you go and sit down and then it continues and you stay there, I mean, you're kind of like a lion walking into the lion's den with meat strapped to you. I can't really feel bad if you end up getting eaten. And I don't even think it's that egregious in this case. You're not being eaten necessarily. Do you see what I mean? It's like, bro, what do you want? Ansari instructed to turn round. He sat back and pointed to his penis, and motioned for me to go down on him. And I did. This is bizarre. So he invited you over to the couch. You thought it was the end of the sexual interaction. The first thing he does is asks you to give him head, and you do it. Right. I'm a bit confused at this stage then, if I wasn't already. What? I think I just felt really pressured. It was literally the most unexpected thing I thought would happen at the moment because I told him I was uncomfortable. Soon he pulled her back up onto the couch. She would tell her friend via text later that night. He made out on me again and said, doesn't look like you hate me. Halfway into the encounter, he led her from the couch to a different part of his apartment. He said it to show her something. Then he brought her to a large mirror, bent her over and asked her again, where do you want me to fuck you? Do you want me to fuck you right here? He rammed his penis against her ass while he said it, pantomiming intercourse. I just remember looking in the mirror and seeing him behind me. He was very much caught up in the moment and obviously very much wasn't, Grace said. After he bent me over is when I stood up and said no. Dude, what is this thing of like, you can just bend, like, there'd be quite a lot of force required, and I would know, to bend a woman over, right? If they don't want to be bent over. Like, you need to put quite a lot of force into that action. Like, the woman would need to move in order to make that move easy. And you would notice a significant resistance if that were the case. And it would instinctively make you stop unless you're a literal fucking rapist. I went looking in the mirror and seeing him behind me. He was very much caught up in the moment, and I obviously very much wasn't, Grace said. After he bent me over is when I stood up and said, no, I don't think I'm ready to do this. I really don't think I'm going to do this. And he said, how about we just chill, but this time with our clothes on? They got dressed, sat side by side on the couch they'd already chilled on, and he turned on an episode of Seinfeld. She'd never seen it before. She said that's when the reality of what was going on sank in. It really hit me that I was violated. I felt really emotional all at once when we sat down there. That the whole experience was actually horrible. While the TV played in the background, he kissed her again, stuck his fingers down her throat again, and moved to undo her pants. She turned away. She remembers feeling in a different mindset at that point. Bro, Seinfeld is crazy. That's a crazy thing to be putting on, but yeah. It's advanced Indian riz we can't really fathom. I remember saying, you guys are all the same. You guys are all the fucking same. And Sari asked what she meant. When she turned to answer, she said he met her with gross, forceful kisses. After that last kiss, Grace stood up from the couch, moved back to the kitchen island where she left her phone, and said she would call herself a car. He hugged her and kissed her goodbye, another aggressive kiss. When she pulled away and Sari finally relented and insisted he called her a car, he said, it's coming, but just tell them your name is Essence. She said a name he joked about using as a pseudonym in his sitcom. Right. So when you actually demonstrated fully that you weren't into it, he called you a car. So by that logic, if you at any point had made it exceptionally clear that you're not interested and didn't continue with this, that would have happened sooner, no? At absolute worst, this is a shitty date experience where the guy is too pushy to try and fuck you on the first date. That's it. By the way, an experience that literally every woman goes through. And, you know, like, bro, this is so crazy that this woman gets an article written about this just because it's a famous person that is involved in this. When tons of women go through worse. Women are actually raped. Fully raped, and they don't get this level of fucking attention. It's nuts, dude. That doesn't make it okay. And I would say, as an older guy particularly, like, you should not fucking be pushy and stuff, whatever, right? That's obvious and should go without saying. But I'll say, yeah, don't be pushy. But the reality is, particularly younger guys will be like this, and you're going to experience this, and you're going to have to deal with this. So yeah, I don't know. It's like, should he have been as pushy? No. Should he have been more caring? Sure. But to turn this into a fucking Me Too style allegation is absolutely fucking insane. It is so crazy and a testament to the disgusting insanity of Me Too that existed around that time, that this was something that was taken seriously. Oh. Anyway, dude, I need to fucking, dude, I need to finish this and get back to the thing. I'm just so, dude, I'm so fucking infuriated. I've never looked at this before on stream. I've heard about it, but I've never looked at the detail, even offline. And it's shameful. It's shameful that this was okay. This was acceptable. A shit date, sure. Him too pushy, sure. And that then apparently justifies writing this salacious article, going into intricate detail, revealing all of these personal details of this interaction. It's fucked, dude. She teared up in the hallway outside of his place, pressing the down button on the elevator. The Uber was waiting when she left the building. He asked if she was Essence. She said yes. And then she rode back to her Brooklyn apartment. I cried the whole ride home. At that point, I felt violated. That last hour was so out of my hand. Babe asked Ansari's representatives if they wanted to respond to Grace's account, but they have yet to do so. Grace compares Ansari's sexual mannerisms to those of a horny, rough, entitled 18-year-old. I mean, he is Indian. She said so to her friends via text after the date, and she said the same thing to me when we spoke. But Aziz Ansari isn't an 18-year-old. He's a 34-year-old actor and comedian of global renown who's probably done more thinking about the nuance of dating and sex in the digital age than practically everyone else. Okay, yeah, he should have known better. Sure, I could agree that he shouldn't be this pushy. Agree with that. But do we really need an article? Jesus Christ, it goes into his background. Bro, they literally just talk about all of his fucking background here. Speaking to Babe, Grace mentioned the glaring gaps between Asari's comedy persona and the behaviour she experienced in his apartment as a reason why she didn't get out earlier. Wow, you're telling me that an actor is not like the characters they portray on the screen. What a shocker. I thought he was just going to tell jokes, but he tried to rape me. Parasocial, unlucky. Womp womp. Okay, dude, come on. I didn't leave because I think I was stunned and shocked. Fawning. This is not what I expected. I'd seen some of his shows and read excerpts from his book, and I was not expecting a bad night at all, much less a violating and painful one. In the Uber home from Ansari's apartment, Grace texted a friend, I hate men. She continued, I had to say no a lot. He wanted sex. He wanted to get me drunk and then fuck me. She texted another friend after she got back to her apartment. I'm taking a bath. I'm really upset. I feel weird. Dude, this is exactly what that person was talking about, of this, like, group chat gossip. Like, this is normal. Women will do stuff like this. They'll go on a shitty date and they'll go, oh my God, that guy was a nightmare. He was really pushy. He smelt bad. He had a tiny cock, right? Anyway, that's not about me, to be clear, all right? Just to be clear. But that's normal. You have the group chat gossip. But this has been turned into a fucking article to act like this guy's a rapist. Grace's roommate, Babe spoken to, didn't see or talk to Grace until the morning after. The roommate asked how it went right away. She said it was awful. It didn't feel good at all. Grace filled her roommate in on the details later. I guess it ended up getting really fucking weird, really fucking quick. The roommate said she was really shaken up about it. She was upset. Grace said she spent the next day groggy and miserable. The day had gone poorly. Reached out to friends. Helped her craft the message to say that she felt bad. It was fun meeting you last night, and sorry since using name. Last night might have been fun for you, but it wasn't for me. Grace responded, you ignored clear non-verbal clues. You ignored clear non-verbal clues, like mumbling. You kept going with your advances. She explains why she is telling how she felt. I want to make sure you're aware, so maybe the next girl doesn't have to cry on the ride home. I'm so sad to hear this, he responded. Clearly I misread things in the moment. I'm truly sorry. Last time they had contact. Won the Golden Globe. Grace says her friends helped to grapple with the aftermath of the night of the Ansari. It took a really long time for me to validate this as sexual assault. Gaslighting. Proto-gaslighting before we had the words for it. My friends just basically convinced me I got raped, actually. It wasn't just an awkward sexual experience. I believe that I was taken advantage of by Aziz. I was not listened to and ignored. It is by far the worst experience with a man I've ever had. Yep. Dude, that is absolutely fucking shameful. I cannot believe this was taken seriously at the time. Some commentators alleged his actions were misogynistic, lacked affirmative consent, and spoke to a larger culture of harmful male expectations. Others said that Ansari's actions did not constitute sexual misconduct, and that his accuser's narrative trivializes the Me Too movement against the forms of sexual abuse. Me Too, broadly, was, in the end, trivial. That's the reality of it, okay? Did it expose some people who were bad? Yes, I fully believe that. I fully think that. But the sheer mountain of claims that have come out off the back of Me Too, how many of them are actually of decent substance that are worthy of public consideration? Especially as time has gone on. Especially as time has gone on. Who are the people? I don't know, Harvey Weinstein. You know, who else? Like, it's like, who are the actual people that we look at and go, yep, this person was really definitely wrong. We got two here already, Louis C.K. and Aziz Ansari, who were massively overreacted to off the back of what they did. And it's because of stories like this. Well, okay. I think that there's some stuff, like the Ansari stuff, that should never have become public. Totally unnecessary, stupid, okay? And there's some stuff, like the Louis C.K. thing, which, yeah, sure, you could argue that could have become public. He was acting inappropriately based on his position or whatever, but that got overreacted to the point it was tantamount to a rapist when it was nowhere close to that. And there was no gauge for actually assessing those dynamics. It was just, woman said something happened, basically a rapist, terrible, 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 Harvey Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein. Like, that's what happened. And it's why I am so committed to not believing victims, ever, in any circumstance. Way was criticised for a handling of the story and for not following accepted journalistic standards. Yes, good. Good. I'm glad. I'm fucking glad people called this out, because there's lots of issues with the journalistic standards here. And it's no surprise that this fucking stupid Babe blog was where it ended up. Because any decent newspaper or journalist would have looked at this and gone, yeah, this isn't enough to go with. Anyway, very cringe. Let's get back to this. Sorry, we got sidetracked there, but it was a fun detour.
Very genuine. You know, it seemed heartfelt. It seemed remorseful. And I was like, damn. I mean, no apology can, mitigate the damage, but you expect an apology, right? And then in his stand-up, later, he talks about it, which is interesting because I've seen Louis twice, and I'm not gonna lie. It was post-fappening. Tickets couldn't have been cheaper, fellas. I had a friend open up for him, and I'm not gonna name him. Hey, buddy, you know who you are. He's a good set. In his special, he made a statement that was funny, but still I feel like true. He goes, if you ask somebody, may I? In front of you? And even if they say yes, make sure. I felt like it was a joke, but it was about, like, if you're in, a situation, it's good to check in. You still into this? Consent is key, fellas, okay? I can't...
Okay. I began to masturbate. Are you still into this? Do you like that? Do you like me doing that? You into that? You want to see that, do you? Like me jerking off, do you? Bro, what the fuck?
You know what I find hot? An enthusiastic yes. He does jokes in a special about being so...
Wow, what a great joke. Guys, get consent. And then, if you get consent, make sure. That's literally what that would have been, okay? Absolute dog shit clap comedy. Get fucked.
hated. You know, he was getting his comeuppance for doing a bad thing, so I'm sure that doesn't feel good to have the world shitting on you, you know? And look, he did a bad thing, so he's probably getting much more hate from adults. So he was doing jokes about, I was in Europe because I felt like I had to flee the nation. He goes, yeah, it's my, thing. Everyone's got a thing. I like it in front of people, whatever. He goes, everybody knows my thing. He goes, everybody's got a thing, and everybody knows my thing. He goes, Obama knows my thing. So what am I saying? I'm saying Louis C.K. was one of the greats. Some not good stuff came to light that is genuinely not good. An apology was made. Is that enough? I don't know. Genuinely, I'm asking you guys in the comments down below. And in his later specials, he acknowledges it.
Is that enough? Oh, I don't know. Yes, it was. End of conversation. What more could you want from this dude? What is he supposed to do? This is the thing. What is this dude supposed to do? He said, oh yeah, I shouldn't have done that. It was too much. Probably over-egged it because of some fucking PR people told him to do it. But fundamentally, he says, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. Yep, my bad. What else are you supposed to do? What more can you possibly do in that situation? They want you to cut your own cock off. If you do something like this, the only thing these people will accept is you cutting off your cock and balls. That's it. That is the only thing. Nothing else is acceptable. You must become a eunuch. You have used your penis for evil. Cut it off now. Fuck me, dude.
It in a funny way, but I don't think the way he acknowledges it in a funny way minimizes the thing. It feels like ownership was taken, but it happened. And for him not to acknowledge it in a stand-up act, like stand-up is all about authenticity. Stand-up is all about being yourself. Stand-up's all about like, hey, this is my perspective. This is what happened to me. This is my, 3 minutes to an hour with a microphone. So what am I going to...
Bro, that's so funny. That just demonstrates this guy's problem, doesn't it? This self-centered mentality. He put it up there as a joke, recognizing how crazy it sounded that he said this. Yeah, I think stand-up is about telling jokes, to be honest. I think it's about going out there, having a crowd of people, saying some funny shit, getting people to laugh, and then fucking off. Call me crazy, right?
To talk about. It'd be kind of insane for him not to talk about it in his stand-up, honestly. And how wild is that? Like addressing the stuff in the medium that you do. Like, could you imagine? Like, honestly, I want you to take a look at, Louis C.K.'s apology here. And depending on this is recorded, and depending on what happens in the next couple weeks, let's compare it and contrast it to Mr. Beast's apology. And if Mr. Beast's apology is more authentic than Louis'
Mr. Beast reference. Mr. Beast reference. Should have put Mr. Beast in the thumbnail. Then maybe you'd have more views.
Like and subscribe, brother.
I'll be the judge of that when it comes out, though.
But I don't think you can reduce an entire being into a handful of their worst moments, I do believe that everybody does make mistakes, and those mistakes can, vary wildly in damage to other people. And I've known people who've made mistakes and fully hate the people they used to be, and they wanted to get better, and they did. And I think that's commendable, and I think we should be more accepting and open to that in people. But I also know people who did some shitty shit, and they weren't sorry at all. And they might have gotten, better or worse. I don't know. So let's take Louis at his word and say he is very, very sorry, and he does not do that anymore. The question I want to ask is it still okay to like his material? Is it still okay to like his body of work? It depends. I really do. Like, yeah, the jokes...
Bro, what is this non-committal shit? It depends. The answer is resolutely yes, of course, and you're retarded to think otherwise. Bro, if you can still have Rock and Roll Part 2 by convicted giga sex child predator rapist Gary Glitter, you can have that playing in the Joker movie. I think you can like some Louis C.K. stand-up, yes, okay?
In the Byzantine Empire, eunuchs are among the most loyal of courtiers. Just like dogs. Ladies, get you a eunuch.
Thank you for the $5. And Musty, thank you for the membership. Appreciate it.
Mustimus We Can Trust he became a member. Mustimus We Can Trust he celebrates 1 month of membership. Happy whaling anniversary. Heart, check inbox.
Musty. Dude, Musty's carrying right now. I'm laughing my ass off. You and Chud are getting $1,200 in the 7th and 1 dono. Mark your calendar. Dude, this person's fucking...
Oh, boy. What? Okay. Well, that is a very generous offer. I thank you for that. Appreciate you. Thank you very much, Musty.
About how much he loves masturbating has a new angle now. It's got a new, there's a layer of oof on that. But that wasn't all of his material. I really do think, one of my favorite things in stand-up is when you can take a highbrow concept and keep what's highbrow about it, like keep what's smart about this concept, but reduce the delivery mechanism, reduce the way you talk about it as dumb as possible. I think South Park is a great example of this, especially the movie Team America World Police. It won't be for everybody. But that movie is a post-9/11 political satire musical.
Wait, what?
With One of my favorite things in stand-up is when you can take a highbrow concept and keep what's highbrow about it, like keep what's smart about this concept, but reduce the delivery mechanism, reduce the way you talk about it as dumb as possible. I think South Park is a great example of this, especially the movie
Bro, dude, all these comedians that over-intellectualize stuff, bro. And Norm Macdonald just goes out there and claims that a Jewish person denies the Holocaust and everyone laughs. Like, dude, it's just like, bro, you don't need to over-intellectualize it like this. Some of the best comedians understand and know some of these concepts, but they just focus on being funny, and they're funny, and that's it.
Team America World Police, it won't be for everybody. But that movie is a post-9/11 political satire musical with marionette puppets. Like I said, not for everybody. It is exactly for me, though. And that movie talks about the military-industrial complex, the way the media propagandizes, you know, one side versus another, you know, American exceptionalism and nationalism, you know. These are—
Oh my God, dude. Yes. And it was good because it was funny first, and there's other messages in there. But the primary thing is, this is really funny. Oh, by the way, isn't it crazy how America's the world police? But it's funny.
They're all like, keep what's highbrow about it, like keep what's smart about this concept, but reduce the delivery mechanism, reduce the way you talk about it as dumb as possible. I think South Park is a great example of this, especially the movie Team America World Police. It won't be for everybody. But that movie is a post-9/11 political satire musical with marionette puppets. Like I said, not for everybody. It is exactly for me, though. And that movie talks about the military-industrial complex, the way the media propagandizes, you know, one side versus another, you know, American exceptionalism and nationalism, you know. These are all like stuff that's really like complicated to talk about. And they made a movie with puppets. Fuck, it's, you know, that's mwah, 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 mwah. And that's what I felt like Louis did. You know, Louis would talk about—
Oh my God, dude. I just feel like it's a little bit like revealing the magic trick. Do you know what I mean? I just find it so cringe. This is like the shit that fucking breadtube essay retards do. Yeah, you can talk about all the themes of Team America World Police, but it's better engaged with if you just watch it and those messages are there. But you don't have to like sit there and over-intellectualize it and analyze it. And oh yes, look, oh, they're talking about imperialism here. Absolutely incredible, dude. It's so cringe. I can't stand it, dude.
You know, the human experience in a way that is like intellectual and profound, but he did it in a way with the fucking oh shit, God, I want to do this. Oh, like it had this like everyman energy. You know, when you wake up feeling like a piece of shit and you got like buffalo wings on your chest, you want to fucking die. I hate everything. Oh, my kids are coming. I hate my fucking kids. Like, if you embody that energy into a person and that guy walked around, I'm sure he'd be an asshole to everybody he's ever encountered. That's not what we're here to discuss. I wouldn't hang out with Louis at a party. I wouldn't go get lunch with the guy unless he called. Like I say this about a lot of comics. If I met you in the wild, would I be your friend? Of course not. What's great about stand-up is when everybody has that through line. You know, everyone can talk about, you know, jokes and a perspective. It's like we all use the same mechanisms to be heard, be understood, be funny, be accepted, you know? And look, there's other shitty reasons to do stand-up. Those are the nice reasons to do stand-up. If you do stand-up for other reasons, that's fine, but these are the noble reasons to do stand-up. Some people do just do it to get rich. Some people do just do it to get pussy, you know? Or dick. Hey! Yeah, I don't know. Female comics probably don't have to do stand-up to get laid. It is like...
Bro, people do stand-up. Maybe there's hobbyists that do it for the love of the art. But everyone dreams of making money out of it. And those that are making money out of it, I'm very much doubt would continue to do it on a regular basis and didn't get paid for it. Dude, this cope that people do, that people are doing it for the love of the art. Fundamentally, people want to get paid for the shit that they're doing. Because we live in a society, okay? The way to check this is you would say, okay, if you were to stop being paid for this activity, would you continue to do it regularly? Most people are going to go, no, absolutely not. Are there comics out there that are fucking doing loads of free gigs? Yeah, you get a few charity gigs and stuff for the good cause. But there's no people out there who are going to be like, yeah, I'll just keep doing it for free. They want to be paid. People want to get paid for what they do.
Ego as well, like getting up in front of a crowd and being able to make them laugh. Like
what's wrong about that? Okay, tell me a comedian that regularly does free gigs without being paid for it. What do you mean? Yes, they do some charity gigs, right? But fundamentally, everyone wants to get paid. You can have different motivations for doing it that come into it, right? But comedians, if they were like, right, we want you to do 20 gigs across the country and you're not going to get paid for any of them. Do you think that comedians are going to be like, yeah, sign me up, let's go. And they're going to be like, I'm not going to do that.
Against their will, you know? And that's why I think comics love to push the envelope. You know, George Carlin used to always say, what you want to do is you want to purposefully cross the line, but then make the audience happy that you did it. You know, and all these comics who love just saying slurs because they think slurs is funny. Like, no, you're missing the second part of that. You have to make them happy that you did it. And Louis had some material about that kind of language that was very, very Carlin-esque, I feel like. You know, because George Carlin would always talk about, like, the weight of language, the...
Oh my God, bro. First of all, I used to like George Carlin, particularly when I was a 9/11 truther, okay? I really liked his you know, acerbic, cutting commentary on the global elite, okay? But honestly, I've kind of gone off Khan a little bit, because there's that one Wojak that I saw of the nihilist meme, and I'm like, ugh, I kind of get that, you know? I kind of get that a bit. You know what I mean? What is it? Carlin Wojak. Let's look it up. I think in some ways he was, you know, I think he was a little bit clap comedy at times. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
This is excessive. I don't 100% agree with this Wojak. Okay? You believe in something? You're fucking stupid. I'm a cynical nihilist who doesn't hold a coherent belief about anything. So everyone knows I'm smart and above it all. Everyone is dumb and we're all fucked. Laugh. No, sure. I'm not saying I'm totally 100% anti-Carlin. I'm not saying that. I just think that this does hit something that which was like, okay, I can kind of see the criticism there. Even though I think some of his bits are still funny. I thought it was funniest when he just said a bunch of slurs, to be honest with you. But yeah, anyway. You just change your opinion because of a Wojak. Correct. I do that quite often. That's how I consider all of my opinions now. I look at relevant Wojaks and decide off the back of that.
The tool, the utility that language is. And a lot of his bits were about like the dumbing down or overcomplicating of language to hide the true meaning, you know? Jokes about language. Yeah, George Carlin did the 730 words you can't say on TV. That was a bit that was profound at the time because he was, you know, bashing the current conservative, you know, media environment. And those 730 words at the time were shit, piss, fuck.
Bro, when comedians said slurs, when annoyed, bro. When comedians said slurs and it annoyed conservatives, it was funny. But now they say slurs to piss off leftoids, so I don't like it. Bro, this is so obvious, is it not, dude? As long as you're pissing off the right people, say as many slurs as you want. And then this, like, overwrought language about it. Oh, God, it was so profound. Bro, give me a fucking break with this artsy-fartsy gay shit. Just tell a funny joke, that's it. That's all you got to do. Shut up and read the joke.
I believe. Yes, I don't think I missed any. Shit, piss. Yeah, you see how that's poetry,
bro,
baby.
What is foundationally different between some fucking conservative retard being mad at curse words and some blue-haired progressive freak being upset with a trans slur? It's the same thing. You were getting upset by a word. They try and rationalize it. And it's exactly the same thing, bro. The leftoids are the new Puritans. It's just the way it is, dude. There's even people that get mad at slurs in songs and pressure artists to take them out. It's crazy.
And Louis, you know, in the era that stand-up was in, you know, the raunchy underground place it was in post the 90s and the early 2000s, yeah, he did jokes about the F slur and the N-word. But they're hard to watch today, but I think they hold up. I'm not going to do the bit.
Only gay because he's so far up himself. There was no better description.
Thank you for the Prime sub. Yes, there are rules in place. There's rules now, but they're not written down. The consequence could be severe if you break these rules, as people have found out. Dude, yes. This is the... Dude. There was rules against it back then, guys. That's what made it so bad. Now, you say the wrong thing on a social media platform and your entire shit gets taken away. Dude. But don't worry, guys. It's not written in the law, so it's okay. Don't worry. Come on, dude. Give me a fucking break.
Bits. I'm not going to cut to them, you know, but what are the bits about? The bit about the F slur was, and I think South Park even did a bit about this, like back before it was, you know, gay culture was really popularized, you know, a lot of people didn't even know what being gay was. I mean, yeah, they're being ignorant, but, you know, that's what happens when, you know, things aren't as mainstream as they are today. And because I didn't even know it was about gay people. I thought they were just being, like, I would never say that to a gay person. Oh my God. Here I am doing the bit, goddammit.
I'm not going to do the bits.
It's like I can walk into a room and see two guys, but if one of them, you know, goes, people from Phoenix are called Phoenician, I'd be like, like, is that bit hateful? No. But do people who use that language willy-nilly in social situations who don't care about the impact of that word, is that hateful? Yes. And are those two things I said back to back a nuanced thing to believe at the same time? Yeah, it's hard being me. Straight white man. I'm fine. My burdens are not race or gender related. It's trauma, baby. The bit he does about the N-word. He thinks people who say, like, N-word instead of the word, like, you're still saying it. You're just not, accepting the responsibility anymore. N-word, Like, I know what you mean. I say it in my head. You're making me say it. Take some responsibility. I think Patton Oswalt had a similar take on language. If he was going to hang out with two people and the other person didn't say any slurs but didn't think, people could get married, and the other guy was like, yeah, sure, why can't get married? I'd rather hang out with the second guy. And I think the point of all those bits...
money off depressed people?
I have a friend from home who lives off benefits doing stand-up, and he has the same energy as Jake. Why do subpar comics act like every convo is a bit?
Thank you for the $5. Yeah, I know, dude. It's just, bro. Oh my god. It's unbearable, dude. It's unbearable. Just speak normal. And then you're inserting all of this fucking overall analysis about comedy. And it's just like, it's not that deep, dude. Like, yeah, there's a place for that and there's a discussion to be had. But if you're a comedian and you want to be on the cutting edge of comedy, I think you should do more jokes and less overall analysis, me personally.
And I think, the point that a lot of stand-ups who defend that type of material but don't think that hard, some comics just want to be like, I can say whatever I want. And I find that deeply annoying. Yes, you can say whatever you want, but the audience can get mad at you, and that's allowed too, asshole. If you're doing jokes with language and you don't...
Bro, it would be fine if the audience was just mad. I literally couldn't care less about an audience getting mad. I think that's a good system. You tell a joke, some people find it funny, others don't, and they get upset with you and they complain. Cool, good system. The problem is, these people that get upset don't just leave it at getting angry. They take action to try and impede your trajectory in some way. They call comedy clubs. They try to get your gigs cancelled. They complain about you on social media to get your accounts taken down. They want to destroy you because you've upset them. If they're just upset, who cares? It's the actions they take of being upset. That's the problem that always gets ignored in these kind of fucking analysis.
Do those jokes understanding the weight of that language. Like, you can't take the piss out of something if you don't know how much piss is in it. And that's a tightrope walk that I do feel like Louis...
all sides... Oh, my apologies, guys. I didn't lay out all the different sides that do this. Bro, that is the most insufferable retarded shit that I hear. Sorry, I've not spoken enough about all sides doing it. I think every single time I've been aware of something like this and have spoken about it, I've said it's gay to get me all cancelled for shit, dude. Holy fuck!
He was able to balance, and that's hard. That's why the Mark Twain Award exists. I don't know if he's received that award, but...
Well, I haven't looked into it too much, but...
That's the kind of work that the Mark Twain Award should go to. God, I'm getting chills. Look at these fucking... These are... I talk about stand-up for 10 goddamn seconds, I get chills, goddammit. He also had jokes, about his kids, about his divorce, about life. It was so relatable, and it was so profound, but it was also so dumbed down that anybody could, gravitate towards it. Oh, God, one of my favorite bits that he used to do. He was on one of the first flights that had in-flight Wi-Fi.
And then it breaks down. And they apologize, the internet's not working. The guy next to me goes, this is bullshit.
What you didn't know that existed 10 seconds ago, and now you're entitled to it? Because you're in an airplane. You're going from New York to California in 3 hours. It used to take 30 years. You would like hike all the whole, people would be born and die on the way there. You'd be like a different group of people by the time you got to California. And now you just watch like an Adam Sandler movie and take a big runny dump and you're there. And this guy's in there like, this is bullshit. Like, my seat, it's not, I can't. You're flying. You're flying. Like, when your like flight is like 45 minutes delayed and you get back to your place? Like, people think that's a story. They were like, oh, it was 45 minutes delayed. People doing dishes like, oh my God, why did I got delayed? Are you kidding me? Like, he's like, my phone, I got a new phone, but it's shitty and bad. I hate my phone. It's going to space.
Wait, what are you saying in chat about him stealing jokes? Because, I mean, you're just saying he should make up his own jokes, but he's just telling other people's jokes again. Because stealing a joke would normally mean that you don't credit the person or recognize that someone else has said it. Are you saying that's happening?
Can you give it a second to come back from space? That wasn't the exact bit, I Jake Weddled it up. But the reason I could probably do that word for word is because I resonate with the truth behind that bit. Is people live in a society that is amazing. And they find shit to complain about and ruin their day. It's an optimistic bit. I don't know if he called them first world problems or white people problems. He said people in other countries have actual problems. Like they're cutting all of our heads off today, And here you're like, my phone doesn't. I had to pick a language on the ATM. I don't know. I just feel like Louis C.K.'s body of work is one of those bodies of work that is so influential, that is so impactful, that is so just genuinely really good. I don't know, man. I hear people blasting Billie Jean every other week, I'm sure Drake fans still exist. I don't know, man. It seems like some people are uncancelable and some people are very easy to cancel. Louis didn't do a war crime. I don't think that takes away from the impact the bad things had. Because the bad things did have impact. You know, people...
Oh my god, dude. A couple of women got jerked off in front of. Womp womp. I failed to see it was my problem, dude. I don't care. Bro, we're really gonna fucking hand wring so hard over this. It's fucking crazy, bro. It's crazy that we're still hand wringing in 2024 over a couple of women seeing Louis C.K. jerking his cock off until he pathetically comes on the floor. Are you serious? It's done. It's been done. Okay? Fuck me. I thought this wasn't supposed to be about this, and we're still fucking banging on about him jerking off in front of a couple of broads.
Were hurt. People were hurt in a fucked up way. But I think that's the same reasons he was able to do those jokes where he knew the impact of language. I think that's the same way he was able to do jokes with the impact about his negative actions. Because Louis C.K. understands the weight.
It's still gross. Oh, guys, someone did something gross years ago. Oh, I better call the fucking police and fucking go on about it for years, hadn't I? Bro, this is fucking unbearable. How are we still entertaining a conversation, well, Jake Weddle is at least, about what we should feel about Jake Weddle jerking off in front of some women in 2018. Bro, it was 6 years ago. It was 6 years ago plus, dude. What the fuck? It's not as if it's not been discussed and litigated and gone over and hashed out repeatedly.
Of stuff before he jokes about it. I don't think he came out and was like, yeah, I did that shit. Isn't it funny? Haha.
Sorry. That was a misspeak. I don't want to get sued for defamation. I meant Louis C.K. I can neither confirm nor deny whether Jake Weddle has jerked off in front of women, with or without consent.
I had a right to do that shit. I did nothing wrong. He was like, no, I was a piece of shit. I did a bad thing. And the jokes were honestly at his expense. Like the joke I did with my dad. That's my trauma. You know, like that's for me to joke about. And I always thought, like, if I know comedians who were sexually assaulted and they have bits about their sexual assault in their act. I have bits about sexual assault in my act. I used to go to college campuses and do bits about date rape, but it was always at the expense of the rapist. I was always making...
Fuck that. Let's make some jokes at the expense of victims, okay? Rapists have had it too hard for too long, right? When are we going to start telling jokes about rape victims? I'm sick of this.
Fun of frat culture. I was making fun of the fact that college campuses kind of let this happen in a way. And it was never at the expense of the people at the bottom of the situation. You know, never punching down, punching up. You know, that's a thing you hear. And so I would go to college campuses and do these bits. Oh my God, that's like doing black material at the Apollo. Okay? Whoa. You know, but the bit about my dad, I tried really, really hard to make sure that bit wasn't at the expense of, you know, punching down. I made fun of my dad. The jokes.
Punching down. Right. Okay. Yeah. Great. Punching down. My favorite, honestly. I absolutely love talking about punching down because one thing you want to have in comedy is worrying about what groups you are and aren't allowed to joke about. That's a very good thing to do, isn't it? To be that concerned that you're like, oh, I can't make a joke about this group because that's punching down.
Were about my dad.
Fucking
and
hell,
my
dude.
dad is my trauma, and that's what I'm allowed to talk about. It gave me the power instead of the thing. If I can make jokes about it, then it's not scary. That's not minimizing, you know? Like I took a bad thing. And then I can make a room full of people laugh while being understood, you know? That's fucking amazing. And so I think for Louis to understand that bad things happened, that were the cause of him, he caused those bad things. And so I think if Louis has the capacity to understand he did a bad thing and feel the weight of that and do the due diligence and do the steps and then come back with material about that doesn't minimize, what are the crux of his bits? It's always check in, you know, make sure you have consent. Like, those are the points. That's amazing.
That's
He's like, look, if anybody can do a PSA about making sure you got consent.
People.
Oh my God, dude.
How about you write a punchline, bro?
That's true. Thanks for the fucking $8. Is this guy saying that Louis C.K. should be doing bits about getting consent? Is that right?
Wait, if Louis has the capacity to understand he did a bad thing and feel the weight of that and do the due diligence and do the steps and then come back with material about that doesn't minimize.
Yeah, if I was sitting down for Louis C.K. coming back from his wank controversy, I would want to have a lecture about consent personally. I don't want to hear any jokes minimizing or joking about a very funny thing that happened. I just want him to tell me about how important consent is. That sounds good, doesn't it? Bro, I was saying this about this dude. He puts the social commentary first. You need to put the comedy first, and the social commentary can naturally float after. If it's appropriate, if it's relevant, if it's that sort of thing. It doesn't have to be. It can be. But comedy has got to be the first thing you think about when you're talking about being funny. Surely.
What are the crux of his bits? It's always check in, you know, make sure you have consent. Like, those are the points. That's amazing. He's like, look, if anybody can do a PSA about making sure you got consent, hey, brother, you know, that's awesome. So do I think Louis C.K. is a bad person? I think that's a weird parasocial assumption I would make. I never met the guy, you know? I know his body of work. I saw what was in the news, and I've seen him on a few podcasts. I can't make that call. But is his stand-up still good? Absolutely. Is he still one of the greatest to ever do it? Yeah, I think so. And is having nuanced takes about what it means to be a good person and what it means to enjoy media and even stand-up in general. Is nuance dead on the internet? You bet your sweet ass it is. But that's okay, because I do think everyone is allowed to have opinions and believe things and say things as long as you're being fucking respectful. So if you agree with me, disagree, God, I'd love to hear about it. Please tell me why in the comments down below. Like and subscribe. All that jazz. Appreciate you.
I like jerking off. I don't like being alone. That's all I can tell you. I get lonely. Where is everyone? It's just sad. I like company. I like to share. I'm good at it, too. If you're good at juggling, you wouldn't do it alone in the dark. You would gather folks and amaze them.
So honestly...
Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that shit.
The vibe that I get from this is he wants to talk about... I mean, he's playing that joke at the end. I reckon he wants to go a bit harder to defend Louis C.K., but he recognises he's got a soy retarded audience. So he can't do that. So he's got to be very coy about it and dance around it, rather than just saying... You're a fucking retard if you care about Louis C.K. jerking off in front of some fucking broads in 2018, in 2024. Get over it. He's funny. Fuck you. You're a virgin. End of discussion. I don't know. Do you know what I mean, though? It's like, just say that. Who cares? Instead, we've got an overall lengthy video, you know, hand-wringing about it and prancing around it and all this shit. Fuck me, dude. As a woman... Opinion rejected, obviously. But anyway, I can say that the fact he specifically mentioned what he did, well, as specific as you can in a public statement, and recognise the lasting impact it has on his victims is a lot more than most perps of his caliber will do. Oh my God, perps. How much is a flight to rural India? Does anyone know? How much would it cost to send... someone over there for an all expenses paid 2-week trip? What do you reckon? Oh, okay, dude. Anyway, there we go. There's the Weddle Tech, guys.